high note, and after eliminating St. Louis in the third round, are poised to pull off the upset. But the task is tall. Sporting Kansas City are the defending Open Cup champs and won't give up the title easily. It's win or go home. Sporting Kansas City and Minnesota United. Next. It's the 103rd edition of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup, and tonight's fourth-round matchup features Minnesota United hosting the defending U.S. Open Cup champions, Sporting Kansas City. Good evening and welcome to the National Sports Center in Blaine, just about 15 minutes north of downtown Minneapolis. I'm joined by U.S. Soccer Hall of Famer Alan Willie and Eric Nordquist. I'm Chris Lidholm. Alan, Christian Ramirez, a gifted goal scorer, had been held without a goal in the last few weeks, but that all changed this past Saturday. He had a goal and an assist.
Yeah, Minnesota are a much better team when they keep possession in the final third. It takes a lot of pressure off the back four in midfield. Here you see Christian playing with his back towards goal here. He gets the ball. He has many options. He has 3 or 4 options. He chooses to find Ben Spies, which is a simple ball, which is usually the best opportunity right here. As he lays the ball off, Christian will turn off and spin towards the back post. Ben Spies looks up to take a shot. He hesitates and beats his defender. In the meantime, it's given Christian and Pino more time to get open in the box at the far post here. And Ben Spies will just take a quick look. And as he takes that look, he'll just clip the ball over to the far post, where Ramirez will find his space, which he normally does. And when he finds this kind of space and time, he's not going to miss from there.
Sporting Kansas City has had some challenges winning this year, but that's not from a lack of creating scoring chances.
Yeah, they're very patient in their build-up, Chris. As you see in this clip right here against Orlando, they'll bring the ball up, and Orlando just keep backing up, so they're waiting and waiting for the opportunity to make that ball through. But they'll wait as the ball comes across here. Orlando failed to come out and close the ball down, so they'll just hold on to possession and the forwards will make runs here. You see Peterson, you'll see Dwyer come short, and then they'll make runs behind the defenders. They'll find the soft spot. So when the ball comes back to Failhaber right here, he has a wonderful scoop of the ball over the top, the back where Peterson has run off the blind side of the defender here, and he's wide open behind them. And in turn, he heads the ball goalwards towards Dwyer, who finds space also inside the 6-yard box, and will head in to tie the score at 1-1.
Will Minnesota and Sporting KC come out with their regular starting 11, or will there be significant changes? We will show you both starting lineups next. This is the 4th Open Cup meeting ever between Minnesota and Kansas City. Most recently, the two clubs met in 2014 at CM Park in Kansas City, with the home team coming out on top by a score of 2-0. We're just a couple minutes away from kickoff, so we'll show you the starting lineups of this 4th round matchup. Peter Vermes will begin the game this way.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to go with 4-3-3, with Dwyer starting up top. He leads them with 6 goals on 53 shots. In the midfield, Failhaber will try and run midfield tonight. Starting in goal is Alec Khan, who's only played once so far this season, so Minnesota will look to try and test him as much as they can tonight.
Minnesota head coach Carl Craig, he'll go with these 11.
Yeah, it's nice to see Borowski back in the lineup. He's going to play along Vincent Cheney and also with Ibsen in there. Ramirez, Cruz up top with Pino also. So it's going to be a good test for Minnesota tonight. They'll be looking to try and get in behind the defense like they did against Miami and try and get that first goal in the game tonight.
It's a big game feel here at the National Sports Center. Fans gathering for this fourth round matchup between Sporting Kansas City and the host Minnesota United. A big thing for Minnesota United was getting that league win past Saturday over Miami 3-1 to build their confidence coming into tonight.
Exactly, they needed a win after 3 losses, Chris. Wins just build confidence huge, and they got off to a great start in the second half with the Ramirez goal. And once he got that goal, you could see the confidence in the whole team. Everyone just seemed to lift up. But interesting to this game tonight against Sporting KC, which is an MLS team. They played 3 MLS teams in preseason. Minnesota had maybe a week of preseason, playing against teams that already had a month under their belt, plus a few games, which wasn't a really good test for Minnesota. But tonight they've had 10 games under the belt. They're playing really well right now, so it should be a better contest against the MLS team tonight.
Just about to get underway here. Sporting KC wearing white, white, and white. Minnesota United in the gray, gray, and black. Nima Seghafi, the center referee this evening. Dan Stupka and John Krill, his assistant referees. Kyle Burkhart is the 4th official.
Yeah, we talked about it in the opening, Chris, that Minnesota are a much better team when they'll be able to hold possession in the final third. And they're going to have to do that a lot tonight against this MLS team who have a lot of experience. So they'll be trying as hard as they can to hold the ball up when Ramirez gets the ball. As long as he's got options, it should be a good time for Minnesota.
Throw in right away for Minnesota United. Under early pressure was Kansas City from Minnesota, and that's going to be a key here tonight for United.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. You can see it right from the get-go there. Minnesota were closing down as quick as possible, not give them any time on the ball, because they are good. If you give them time on the ball, they will pick you apart.
As you guys mentioned in the open, Minnesota United needed that victory to end the spring season on a good note. But I look at Sporting Kansas City here on a break due to Copa America and such. They've only won 1 game in their last 11 matches. And through 16 games of the Major League Soccer season, only 14 goals for Sporting Kansas City. I think it's interesting to see how they come out tonight and trying to find their rhythm and form moving forward as well.
Yeah, it's a good time for Minnesota to play them, Eric. Like you said, they haven't scored many goals, they haven't won many games. Minnesota were on a 3-game losing streak, but once they got that win against Miami, it picked the confidence up, and this is a good time to be playing KC tonight.
Long throw in from Abdul Salam. Vicencini comes up with it for Minnesota. Ball will belong to Minnesota. How important tonight is the consistency of the back four for Minnesota against a quality opponent in SKC?
Yeah, we just talked about it early on, Chris. If Minnesota can hold the ball up in the final third, it will take a lot of pressure off the back four, because what was happening during that 3-game losing streak was the ball was going up to Minnesota, up to Christian Ramirez, and the ball was too high. It was getting hit straight back against the defense, and it was just non-stop for 90 minutes. Against Miami, it was completely different. It was able to hold the ball up, and they created some chances and scored some goals from it.
Venegas plays it in. Can off his line to make the save.
And that's a guy I'm excited to watch tonight. Kevin Venegas, I think, has been the most consistent member of Minnesota United through the 10-game spring season in NASL, and we'll need him to continue that stretch tonight.
Yeah, he's probably been the MVP so far this season, Eric, and tonight's going to be a good test against the MLS team. Can he do it against the MLS team? I think he can. It's just a matter of how they get him open. With Danny Cruz in the lineup, he's able to get forward and cover for Venegas if he has to defensively, so it should be a good matchup out there tonight.
Vicencini. Now Ibsen. Swings it out right. Venegas at midfield. That'll be last touched by Madrande. Now Cruz. He'll drive it in. Off the head of Olam. Drondo with the long clearance to the other side of the field. That'll bounce into the dark clouds. Throw in for United.
That was a great play by Venegas there. Chris, as the ball knocked out of play, he quickly took the throw and released Danny Cruz down the right side there.
Mustavar out to Dwyer against Coleman. Dwyer to his left. Blocked by Brovsky. Peterson gets it. Mustavar. Sliding tackle by Davis results in a corner kick for Sporting Kansas City.
Another good tackle by Justin Davis, but they can't allow the Kansas City forwards to come in like they did there. They need to close them down quickly. Pino was a little late getting back. He needs to be back there quicker to sort of take the pressure off the defense.
Benny Feilhaber over to take the corner kick for Sporting. Just into the 5th minute here at the National Sports Center. 0-0 our score. Feilhaber off the head of Ibsen. Vicencini goes up big. That'll run long and a throw in for Sporting. Saad Abdul Salam put the ball back in play. In his 2nd year with Sporting. Dwyer goes down, a whistle from the referee.
It's like a little pushing and shoving there, Chris, as Dwyer went down there. Didn't look like there was too much in it. Looked like a little bit of a dive, I'm not sure. Then somehow Damien Lowe got involved.
Nima Seghavi and a quick little chat with Damien Lowe. Lowe with a little extracurricular activity and a little push. Seghavi trying to put an end to it here early.
I figured we'd at least get into the second half before we saw things start to get chippy, but in the 6th minute already, gentlemen, attitudes are high. They want to win this game.
Whenever an NASL team is playing an MLS team, the MLS team never wants to lose the game because they think they're inferior, but it's going to be a tough game. Minnesota's going to give them everything they've got tonight, so it's going to be biting tackles all night long.
Feilhaber. Cleared away by Pino. Abdul Salam, his pass intercepted by Vicencini. Too far for Pino. Ball kind of skipped away from Stefano Pino.
It happened again against Miami early on. The ball was skipping past them. The players have to adjust to the surface a little slick. We had a lot of rain here recently, so the ball's going to skip off the turf, so you have to be quickly under the ball to control it.
Madronda. Back to Olam. Lawrence Olam spent some time playing for the Minnesota Thunder. Espinoza with possession. Opara. Espinoza is poked away by Brovsky, but able to regain possession. Madrondra. Hallisey. Good defense there by Venegas, who has it now. Venegas able to get around Feilhaber.
That was a right idea by Venegas there. He got behind the defender there. He just tried to skip the ball out of the far side, but just sliced it a little bit too much on towards the goalkeeper.
It was a nice job by Venegas as well. Once he figured out he wasn't going to be able to outrun him, he allowed Feilhaber to go down, and he was able to stay up and get past him.
Beautiful 74 degrees. The National Sports Center at kickoff. Actually quite nice weather for the game for the players specifically. because they're going to need to give it all here tonight, because if you win, you go on. You lose, you go home.
Especially compared to Saturday night when it was in the 90 degrees. Tonight's perfect for soccer tonight, Chris. There's good patient play by Minnesota. They're not giving Sporting KC any chances at the moment. They're letting them have the ball at the back, which is fine. Just don't let them come over the midfield with the ball. And then you got to put the pressure on them.
Opara. Little chip forward. Falls to Dwyer. Tom Dwyer, left foot. Blocked by Lowe. Corner kick Sporting.
A little bit of lack of communication there between Coleman and Davis. Davis was trying to bring the ball down. Coleman tried to win it. He just needed to sit back and let Justin try and win that ball. In turn, he flicks it over top of his own player. And Dwyer comes in all alone here, but good recovery and good block by Damien Lowe.
Feilhaber over to take the corner kick once again for Sporting. We're into the 10th minute of a 0-0 game. Ramirez touch it away and ease the pressure.
That's twice, once from the corner kick and once from a free kick. Sporting KC's had some great balls in there that just get deflected at the near post, and it causes all kinds of trouble for the defenders because it wrong foots them.
Mustavar. Feilhaber not pleased with that ball from Mustavar, and he's letting him know. Brovsky, good first touch. Ibsen trying to spring Pino. Opara. They've gotten away with a push. Alesi. Good sliding tackle by Vicencini.
From that previous throw, Chris, to Vicencini, Ramirez was only had a great run down the middle, but Vicencini decided just to play the ball square. That's the ball that needs to be played down the middle for Christian. It's going to take something like that to break the Sporting KC defense. You see Vicencini coming in strong, winning that ball.
Sporting Kansas City, the defending U.S. Open Cup champions. They have 3 titles to their credit. Last year they defeated the Philadelphia Union. It was 1-1 after overtime, and Sporting won 7-6 in penalties. Ibsen immediately pressured by Peterson. Feilhaber. Njok will play it away. Opara now with possession for Sporting.
We saw Peterson on the sidelines changing his shoes there. You'd think the players would have tested those out during warm-ups, but there are a couple of players so far have slipped on the turf.
Good skill by Madrandra.
Turf conditions are not good right now, guys. The amount of water this causes to be incredibly slick, wet, and soft. You can see divots all over the place right now.
Especially here in the shaded areas as well, Eric. It's still a little damp over here, so that's where the players seem to be slipping the most.
Opara going forward. Dwyer with a touch, out of play. One thing that Christian Ramirez has to adjust to, and we've seen it here early now, anytime that ball is played in long to him, the Sporting Kansas City defenders are all over him. Got to grab, got a hold of him, trying to jockey for position. Something he doesn't experience a lot in the NASL.
No, but the balls have to be better that are played into him, Chris. Sometimes if it's too high, you got no chance. So the midfield players or the defenders have to just drop the ball in short to give them a chance to hold on and control it.
Venegas keeps possession. Opara able to disrupt that. Brovsky. That'll go wide. That's the type of stuff that Minnesota fans are accustomed to seeing from their squad.
Yeah, and once again, it's coming from Venegas, who's pretty much been their offense the last few weeks. He does great once he gets down this side. Another wonderful ball into the near post there. Almost got Ramirez there. The little flick inside for the goal.
A lot of hope involved in that shot from Jeb Brovsky, but I'm just happy to see him back on the field after that nasty shoulder injury he had.
Yeah, it's good to see him back out there. You thought it might have been a little longer, but Minnesota needs him to cover just in front of the defense. He does a really good job, just like that, picking balls up from mistakes.
Cruz being double teamed. Danny Cruz. He'll slow it up and play it in support to Brovsky. Venegas. Pass to sliding Mustavar. Vicencini to the corner flag. Davis, first time. Lofting ball. Cruz takes it down. They're going to get Danny Cruz for a handball inside the Kansas City 6.
Yeah, it was a great move by Minnesota. There was nothing on down the right-hand side. They brought it inside. Venegas comes inside, switches it to the far post. Great ball over from Justin Davis, but Danny Cruz at the far post was expecting a little flick by the defender here, which didn't come, which wrong foots him almost. At those kind of decisions, you just need to take a chance and hopefully that he doesn't get a touch and you finish it. But 9 times out of 10, he gets that touch, and there he didn't get it, but it caused him a wrong foot. Danny Cruz at the far post. Great chance for Minnesota. But it's nice to see Minnesota creating chances again down both sides, the right side and the left side, Chris.
Opara. Abdul Salam. Defended well by Davis. Folks, don't forget, coming up on June 25th, the first soccer game ever at Target Field will feature Minnesota United and Club Lyon. Kickoff set for 7 o'clock. Get your tickets for that. International friendly, June 25th, Minnesota and Lyon.
Good defensive work there by Pino coming back here, covering for Justin Davis there. Really good hustle by Pino.
Corner kick once again for Sporting. Just about to enter the 17th minute. Headed away by Lowe. Alice, he gets it back. Mustafar, the ball at his feet. Espinoza. Mustavar. Little trouble keeping possession, able to do so. Pressure by Vicencini. Good pressure by Giuliano Vicencini to cause that turnover.
Yeah, it's great work, putting pressure on him, chasing him back towards his own goal. Ends up getting a throwing out of it and gets possession back to Minnesota.
Bailhopper quickly forward. Coleman with the step. Ibsen. Fouled by Espinoza.
It was good play by Minnesota, playing the ball quickly, early, giving the person receiving the ball opportunity and time to play it to where he wants to play it.
Good step by Peterson, unable to control.
They must have read the book on Venegas to try and deny him the ball as much as possible because they're closing him down very quickly, but even so, Venegas is still being able to get behind him a couple times so far and cause them trouble.
Vicencini loses it to Madranda. Lowe knocks it back forward. Controlled by Olam. Failhaber, Opara.
That was good work by Minnesota pressuring, but even better by Sporting KC, calmly getting the ball out of defense. Not panicking, just playing the ball simple.
Good switch by Espinoza. Abdul Salam. He'll slow it up, play it in support, Opara.
Now, I know Sporting Kansas City have had trouble scoring this year, but I love the way that they bring both Madranda and Abdul Salam from their back positions all the way up into the attack. They've basically been sitting there anytime the ball's in United's half.
Yeah, they're trying to get them as forward as much as possible, Eric. Like you say, you need those guys getting forward if they're going to get behind the defense to try and create chances. They're doing everything they can to do that.
And Abdul Salam is basically Sporting Kansas City's version of Kevin Venegas. I think he leads the team in assists with 4 so far this year.
Minnesota United assistant coach Ian Fuller. Up goes Espinoza. Low to it first.
Dwyer knows he's going to be in the game by the end of the night. 90 minutes with him coming up against Damian Lowe. He's just going to take every opportunity to take a little piece of him every time, just like that.
Lowe called for the foul. Going over the top of Dom Dwyer.
Sometimes you just got to hold off and let him have the ball in those situations, but Damian, he doesn't like to do that. He likes to get the ball at every opportunity he can.
As a defender, you want to kind of sit back just a little bit, not attack, especially when your opponent is facing their own goal.
Yeah, because they're going to come back towards their own goal, and that's exactly what you're trying them to do. Instead, Damian Lowe comes, like you say, over the top there and gives away a free kick.
Failhaber on the set piece for Sporting Kansas City. Into the 21st minute. Espinoza tries the flick. Madranda, that hits traffic. Vicencini is fouled by Madranda. Venegas finds Ibsen. Madranda wins it back. Hallisey with skill around Venegas. Madranda quickly forward. Dwyer on the end of it. Saved by Njok. Touch by Ramirez. We're behind Cruz. So it'll be a throw in for Sporting.
Yeah, great move by Sporting KC there. Great ball in to Dwyer there. Just didn't quite get enough on it to get past Sami Njok, and made a great save.
Espinoza off of Brovsky. Olam going forward. Headed away by Venegas. Espinoza takes it down. Hallisey. Nifty back heel by Espinoza. Into the feet of Opara. He'll keep it going right to Peterson. Peterson slicing inside. Hallisey. Good defense by Cruz. Good recovery, though, by Mustavar to win it back for Sporting. Off the foot of Madranda. Can't quite get to it. It'll be a throw-in for Minnesota.
Yeah, just a couple of times in the last couple of minutes there, Chris, you need a little bit more communication from Minnesota there. Danny Cruz had time to bring the ball under control. Instead, he tried to flick it on, but he didn't get the call. And same with Vincent Cini that had the ball. He needed the call because the guy was coming right behind him very quick. So you got to talk out there.
Gibson, pestered by Failhaber, who now has it. Mustavar. Opara taking advantage of the space given to him. His through ball partially redirected by Davis. Last touch by Abdul Salam. Vicencini for United. He'll knock it forward. Too high for Ramirez.
That's the ball I'm talking about, Chris, out of defense or from midfield. You got to give Christian some kind of chance. It's got to come in chest high, because the ball's going to come straight back in the Minnesota defense now. If it comes in chest high, you can control it, you can get laid off to a couple of people. In turn, it gets brought straight back against Minnesota.
Sporting Kansas City making life incredibly difficult in the middle third for United right now as well. Possession, we saw the early chances, guys, but right now, anytime a member of the Loons has the ball, there's 2 white shirts around him.
Yeah, they're working really hard and they're very patient, Eric. They're playing the ball quickly and they're playing it simple, and it's causing Minnesota all kinds of trouble at the moment.
Goal kick upcoming for Minnesota United.
But Minnesota have been caught in possession a couple of times, which is in turn hurting them right now. They need to get that ball played quickly. They need some communication to help them play the ball under control, especially if someone's coming behind you quickly.
We're into the 25th minute of this Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup 4th round matchup between Sporting Kansas City and Minnesota United from the National Sports Center in Blaine, Minnesota. National Sports Center is just about 15 minutes north of downtown Minneapolis. Huge soccer facility surrounding the stadium where they hold the USA Cup. Huge youth tournament, largest in the Western Hemisphere, is held right here where the stadium is located. Good ball forward for Dwyer, trying to get around Coleman. Coleman's tripped up by Dwyer. Whistle from the referee.
But you see the type of ball that was played into Dwyer. That's what Ramirez needs. That was down the channels for him to run onto, rather than, you know, he's not the tallest guy, so they're not playing the ball up 7-8 feet in the air. But it was a great ball through to him, just a little unlucky. End up fouling Coleman in turn.
Brovsky. Too far for Cruz. The idea was right there from Brovsky.
Just at the moment, the turf is a little too slick to play that ball in front of people. It's got to be almost played to them directly.
Ball stays in play. Brovsky. Venegas works the give and go. Brent Coleman. Pisancini. His ball cleared away by Madranda. Miscommunication between Ibsen and Brovsky. Quickly forward goes Sporting Kansas City. Damian Lowe, touch it out. Good work by Damian Lowe. He's been a little, quick to step in, but in that case, he did exactly what he needed to do.
I think the word you were looking for was erratic sometimes, the way he comes in where he really shouldn't, but that was one of the times he needed to come in. But once again, Brovsky and Ibsen, a little lucky communication.
Espinoza. Hallacy back to Espinoza. Good first touch of the corner. Madranda. He'll play it. Originally with the left foot. Kind of skimmed off his foot and will be a goal kick for Minnesota.
It's happened to all of us, Chris. I'm sure it's happened to you also too. You go to kick it with your left foot and you hit with your right foot and you hit with your left.
Injok able to get away under pressure from Dwyer. Madranda is going to be called for the foul on Cruz.
No, it wasn't the kind of delivery that Injok wanted to play right there, but it was a better ball in to Danny Cruz there. It was in front of him where he could even get a foot on the ball. He got fouled in turn, but that's the kind of service that you need to hit to the forwards.
Pino tried to play it through for Davis. Peterson. Mustavar touches it around Vicencini, keeps it between the lines. Coleman over to help defensively. Mustavar and Coleman battling. And a foul is going to be called against Sonny Mustavar of Kansas City.
That was all Brent Coleman with his speed there. He wasn't going to let him get past him there. He had to get fouled. It was great play by Brent over there.
You look at plays like that by Brent Coleman, and you were speaking of Damian Lowe just a few minutes ago. This is a pace that the back line for United are seeing, they haven't seen all year by way of NASL league play. So I think they're amped up. They're excited about it. Damian Lowe and that erratic play, as you talked about. Brent Coleman using his speed. Tough test for those guys.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for them, but so far they've stood up to it, Eric. But once again, another ball from Samuel and Jacques that didn't give Christian any chance to hold on to possession, and once again it comes straight back. I'd like to see maybe Minnesota play the ball out, take a short goal kick, and try and play the ball from one of the back four or the midfield players, at least to try and hold on to possession for a little bit.
Veilhaber, Madronda, Espinoza. Madronda once again. Hallisey working against Venegas. Hallisey still. Good stand by Venegas to win the goal kick.
Yeah, he's a good defender. He's great at going forward, but like that you saw him, wasn't allowed to get past him. Did everything he did, or he could to stop him getting behind him. Throwing his body in front of the ball. Just great work by Kevin Venegas.
Peter Vermees in his 8th year coaching at Sporting Kansas City. Tonight is his 270th game coaching in all competitions. So it ties him with Bob Gansler for the longest tenured manager at Sporting Kansas City. Lowe going to be called for the foul.
I don't think we have a stat from goal kicks, Chris, but I'm guessing 100% of the time the ball has come straight back to the Minnesota half from those goal kicks. They need to change it up just a little bit.
Nemasek Coffee.
Probably giving Damian the one more and it's a card conversation.
Absolutely, that's what it is.
Yeah, he tried to rush in, then got caught on the wrong side, so he had to stick his leg out, and he caught him and brought him down. But once again, just a little bit anxious. Just needs to hold up every now and again.
Back to play. Opara. Peterson on the right. Pino defending. Peterson with the cross. Injok with the save. Quickly forward. Goes Minnesota. Olam hustling back.
A great outlet pass by Samuel and Jacques there, but all the hard work goes to Danny Cruz. He closed that ball down and ended up winning a throw-in when it was a lost cause. That's the type of things that Danny Cruz can do for you. It takes a little bit pressure off the defense now, playing in the final third.
How valuable is the experience that Danny Cruz and Jeb Brovsky bring to this starting 11 for Minnesota?
It's huge. You know, they've played in the MLS before, so they know where it takes. So those guys will be talking to them.
Vicencini called for the foul, going over the top of Peterson.
Yeah, they'll be talking to the rest of the players just to tell them to calm down. You know, some of the players might be playing against MLS teams. You know, but 11 against 11. They just have to work as hard as the other guys, and good things will happen.
Over a half hour in the National Sports Center. I'm Chris Lidholm, joined by Alan Willie and Eric Nordquist.
Just the little things there, Chris. The ball's played into right. He comes back, lays it off, and goes back. They're keeping possession, taking pressure off the defense, their own defense.
Opara. Off of Dwyer. Minnesota United head coach Carl Craig observing from in the stands this evening. Hallisey. Madronda. He'll play it in with the left peg. Off the head of Peterson. Pino clears it away for Minnesota. Opara to it first.
Guys, it's a unique approach that I haven't seen before, but as you mentioned, Carl Craig taking in the action from the crowd, up in the cheap seats, so to speak. He's getting kind of an over-field view to see how his team's doing here in the first 45.
Yeah, it's nice being down on the bench or close to the field, but it's really not the greatest angle to see a game, especially if you're head coach. If you want to see what's going on, and he's come back up here to take a look, and he's got a better view. You can see the movement or the lack of movement sometimes. So it's a great opportunity to see how the game's being played from up here. And he sure is writing a lot of notes down, Chris, too.
Opara is going to be called for the foul on Ramirez. Opara had possession, lost it. Ramirez stepped in to take it. Opara came through the back of Ramirez, and the whistle from Nima Sekafi. Damian Lowe. Chip it forward. Olam heads it out. Lawrence Olam, a familiar name to Minnesota fans, having spent time with the Minnesota Thunder.
It was a better ball from Damian Lowe, Chris. It was just kind of dinked over the top and trying to let Christian run onto it. At least he had an opportunity to get to it.
Venegas, it's ball in play. Ramirez goes down, looks at the referee. Play continues. Sonny Mustavar bringing it forward. Abdul Salam. Mustavar. Feilhaber. His ball headed away by Coleman. Now controlled by Brovsky. Pino trying to get onto the end of that ball. Can't quite do it. Abdul Salam. Olam.
Sporting KC, Chris is just holding on to the ball, passing it around, trying to draw the Minnesota midfield players out. Open some gaps in there behind them, but Minnesota is not taking any of it.
Hallisey. Espinosa's on the diagonal run. Cruz finds Venegas. Heavy ball from Venegas. Olam can't control. Throwing for Minnesota, quickly put in by Venegas. Too far for Cruz. Can comes out.
But once again, because the willingness to work and to chase that ball down by Danny Cruz ended up getting a throw into Minnesota in a good position.
Peterson slows it up. Espinosa picks his head up. Tries to thread the needle to Dwyer, but Davis and Coleman shut that down. Davis, with the clearance now for Minnesota. We're in the 37th minute of a 0-0 game. It's the fourth round matchup between Sporting Kansas City and Minnesota United from the National Sports Center. Abdul Salam gets around Davis. The end result will be a goal kick for Minnesota.
Good work by Coleman there, covering for Davis, who got beat on the play, which is rare. Abdul Salam gets behind him, but you see Coleman coming over quickly. Didn't have to get a shot, his tackle in there, just guided it out of play for a goal kick. Good defensive work by Coleman. We noticed Ben Spears wasn't in the lineup tonight. He is on the bench, so.
Saad Abdul Salam. See being tended to. He's off the field.
Coleman did slide into him. I'm not sure if he made any contact on him though.
Flick by Ramirez. Mustavar puts his head on it, as does Dwyer. Abdul Salam back to his feet, jogging around the corner back to the midfield area so he can re-enter the game as we enter the 39th minute. Pino, touched away by Peterson. Then Brovsky, Ramirez. Pino again, out to his right. Cruz hustling to get on the end of that ball. Cuts it to his left, plays it in with his left foot. Headed out by Opara. Brovsky finds an open Justin Davis on the left side. Abdul Salam back in for Sporting. Vicencini, Pino. Into the feet of Ibsen. Tough ball for Venegas from Ibsen.
Kind of a quiet night so far for Ibsen. We saw last week he started kind of in the defensive midfield position, migrated up top, set up a goal, scored a goal, did Ibsen. This week, just having trouble getting possession, sustaining it. A tough opportunity offered up to Venegas there. Slow night so far for number 7.
Yeah, he was gesturing a couple of times. Players are not making the runs that he's expecting him to, Eric. He was asking Danny Cruz to come short and come inside so he could release Venegas, but it never happened. He played a poor ball to him. This game is crying out for Ben Spies to get into this game because he was someone that will run at the defense or run behind Ramirez to try and create space for other players.
Ball played in looking for Espinoza, and then Jacques comes out to make it. We've seen evidence throughout this first 40 minutes. And Eric mentioned it earlier, this field is quite slick, something we haven't seen. The balls are really skipping away from the players.
Yeah, and they're getting really frustrated. You see Cruz there, he was wide open. If that ball had come to him nicely, but it just a little skip off the turf and it's picking up space and running out of play.
Dwyer runs into Lowe, looking for the foul, and Lowe is down. Grabbing onto that left ankle. Referee will stop play, make his way over to Damian Lowe. Down on both knees.
Looks like Dwyer just turned into him. Caught him on the left ankle and left knee as he went down. He seems to be okay.
We're into the 42nd minute. 0-0 the score. Madronda. Played out to Opara. He'll play it up the line. Headed away by Coleman.
That was the ball I was just talking about from goal kicks or from Samuel and Jacques coming out there, hitting the ball long. It just comes back, straight back into Minnesota's half. You'd like to see maybe one of the fullbacks pick it up and bring it out.
Madronda finds an open Hollisey. Hollisey plays it across. Skip through the 18. Be a throw in for Minnesota.
Both teams kind of exchanging home run balls right now, and given the slickness of the turf, it's not working out. And given the weather out here, it's tough to say that over the course of tonight's match that the conditions will change at all. It'll be an interesting adjustment for the second half.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to change much at all, right? I think the players have to adjust the type of ball that they play through to people. Minnesota especially, from goal kicks and from when Sammy brought that ball out there, just like I said, I'd like to give him the ball to maybe Venegas or Davis, or even have Brovsky come back and try the better ball, just a little dink over the top for Christian or Cruz or Pino to come forward and hold possession for a little bit. But everything's just coming straight back into the Minnesota half from their own goal kicks.
Corner kick upcoming for Sporting KC. Benny Feilhaber at the corner flag for the visitors. Again driven in. Headed out by Vicentini.
Good work by Damien Lowe there, because he was in the 6-yard box when that corner came over, and he was the first one out to the left wing to try and to win that ball on the breakaway.
Now Coleman, out to Davis. Pino. He's going to be called for the foul on Abdul Salam.
Pino did well to shield the ball. They just got a little push in the back, and in turn he comes back and trips him, giving away the free kick.
Can puts it back in play. Up strongly goes Coleman. Abdul Salam. Espinoza. Mustavar. Abdul Salam trying to turn. 3 Minnesota defenders around him. Espinoza called for the push.
Good play by Coleman again, once in not allowing the ball to get past him. See, this is where I'd like to see one of the players run back and get the ball off Sammy and Jacques and then bring it forward.
There's the whistle. 45 minutes are in the books in this Open Cup 4th round game. Minnesota and Sporting KC are 0-0.
Yeah, it was a good start of the game for Minnesota, but after the first 5 or 10 minutes, Sporting KC pretty much took over and controlled the game.
Let's go down to Eric Nordquist. He's with Peter Vermees.
Pretty level throughout the first 45 here. Field conditions seems like it's playing a small part maybe in getting those balls forward. How do you adjust in the first half? Your assessment of the first half?
Yeah, I think it's pretty even half. I think for us, you know, we've probably gone backwards a little too much when we secure possession. You know, I think we'd be a little bit more penetrating with our balls, whether it's with the ball or actually dribbling with the ball. That might create things a little differently, but I think it's an even match, and it's one of those games. These games are a lot, you know, normally like that, and sometimes you got to be a little patient to find those opportunities. We had a great opportunity early on in the first half. We should have put it away.
Excellent. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Back up to you guys.
Alec Can wasn't tested too much by Minnesota, but Sammy and Jacques was tested by Sporting, and he came up big on the best chance of the first half by Dom Dwyer. We're through 45 minutes. 0-0, the score at the National Sports Center. Oh yeah, as soon as you start, when I hear you doing the video, the rollout, I just start talking. Get some.
Looks like it.
This design is built to reflect not only soccer at a worldwide
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm off camera after the feature, right? Okay, beautiful. I'm going to have camera guy cue me because when I turn around, I can't hear you. Welcome back to NSC Stadium. It's fourth round action of the 2016 U.S. Open Cup. Minnesota United hosting Major League Soccer squad Sporting Kansas City, and they're scoreless at the half. We'll get highlights and insight from Chris and Alan in just a few minutes. But first, we have MLS talent on the field here tonight, and it's potentially a taste of what's to come for your favorite soccer squad. New stadium in the works as United continues to effort to be the next expansion franchise in Major League Soccer. Let's listen to this video.
But our state and our community.
Let's.
The exterior skin, as it's called, is in fact a polymer mesh, a PTFE, that is designed to keep out a lot of the elements, wind, rain, etc., but also has the ability to allow light to shine through it. And the stadium is designed with the intent to have all LED lighting inside, which means we have the ability to, at different times of the day, change colors. Within the field, actually for people once you're in there and the players, a full 120 by 75 yard pitch between the lines, natural grass, about 20,000 seats laid out. And you can begin to see the nature of an oval roof, open in the middle. Looking forward to moving into it February, early March at the latest in 2018.
If you're like me, you're chomping at the bit to see Major League Soccer here in our city, especially in a new, beautiful soccer-specific stadium at Midway in St. Paul. Get your MLS priority number now by going to mnunitedfc.com. Don't wait for the rush. Do it now. It's halftime. NSC Stadium scoreless. Minnesota United and Sporting Kansas City. Highlights and Chris and Alan next. It's soccer on My 29.
Just like when they met in 2014, Minnesota United and Sporting KC are scoreless through the first half of play of this fourth round matchup. Take a look at the first half highlights.
Yeah, Minnesota started the game up brightly. The first couple of minutes had a couple of chances in there. You see here, Rossi had a chance. Vincentini gets up there. It was a foul, but it was a good strike. It made the goalkeeper work there. But after the first 5 or 10 minutes, Sporting Kansas City pretty much took over the game here. They created most of the chances here. Great ball in. No near post run. It wasn't causing trouble. Easy save for Sammy here. Once again, the Minnesota attack started by Kevin Venegas to Vincentini. Plays a great ball through to Justin Davis, who comes late on the left-hand side. Danny Cruz needs to take a chance here. He was waiting, and he got put up by the defender, who didn't touch it, and in turn, wrong-footed him. But you see again, Venegas comes in. Great ball by Vincentini. Splits the defense. Justin Davis has to run on and just cross the ball. I'd like to see Cruz just take a chance here. He was waiting as the defender went up, who didn't touch the ball, but it did just enough to put him off here. Great chance here by KC. Minnesota losing possession in their own half. A great ball over the top to Dwight here. One touch. Just didn't quite get enough on the ball with his left foot, but a good save by Simon Jacques here. Great ball just over the top of Damien Lowe. And just couldn't quite finish it, but Simon Jacques kept him in the game.
An evenly played 45 minutes at the National Sports Center between Minnesota and Sporting as the teams are tied 0-0. First half stats and second half opening kickoff is coming up. Both teams created multiple scoring chances, but the backlines and keepers stood strong as Minnesota United and Sporting KC are scoreless at the half. Here are first half stats.
Not a lot of action going on there, Chris. Total 4 shots by Sporting KC, 1 by Minnesota, but the possession, a big telling point there, 66%, and it looked like that after the first 5 to 10 minutes. Minnesota, like I said, started the game brightly. Sporting Kansas City pretty much took over without creating a lot of chances. Minnesota did well defensively, but they need to get more people forward. It's almost back to the 3-game losing streak where they weren't getting people forward and people to stop making runs. like I said earlier on, this game is crying out for Ben Spies to come on here so he can at least run the Sporting KC defense and make runs behind Ramirez.
Sporting KC back out onto the field, getting ready for the second half. At the National Sports Center, I'm Chris Ledome, joined by Alan Willie and Eric Nordquist. It's the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup fourth round matchup between Minnesota United and Sporting KC. These two teams last met in the Open Cup back in 2014. Sporting KC coming out on top by a score of 2-0. With that, and granted we're through 45 minutes of play, any chance there's a touch of revenge on the minds of Minnesota?
Oh, I'm sure there is, but they're going to have to pick the game out a little bit. You heard the coach, Peter Vermees, with Eric earlier on. He thought they're a little bit negative, coming back a little bit. I'm sure he's going to tell them to start taking the ball forward because they didn't really cause Minnesota any trouble. They had a couple of chances, but the positions that they were in by coming back out, if they'd gone forward, it would have caused Minnesota a lot more trouble. So I'm sure they're going to come out and attack a little bit more in the second half here.
And in that attack, needing to get Justin Davis forward a little more often and get him more involved.
Yeah, he's doing more defender than he is attacking, which he is a defender, but you'd like to see him get forward. There's also get Venegas a little bit more involved here in the second half too.
Just about ready to get this second half underway. Dark clouds starting to roll in. They actually were already here because that's the supporters group of Minnesota United. But in the sky, the dark clouds kind of starting to roll in. So there's a possibility we may have some rain here throughout the second half. We'll just have to wait and see. We'll go down to Eric Nordquist. He is with head coach Carl Craig.
Pretty level through the first half. You had some success. Kevin Venegas and Danny Cruz working things down around the side here. What do you do in the second half to try and push this thing open in favor of Minnesota?
When we get on the ball, we've actually got to do something with it. We've tried to force it down the side. It's an obvious place to attack, but the quality hasn't been there. We've hit stuff. I think defensively we're coping quite well. Now when we get on the ball, we've got to be patient. Yes, move it forward to pull them out of the game, but then we've got to get bodies underneath it so we can create something.
Excellent. Good luck in the second half. Back up to you guys.
Yeah, I think he was exactly right there. They need to do something when they get the ball. I'm guessing he's going to probably give another maybe 10 or 15 minutes before he makes some changes. But like I said, they need to stop making runs in behind the defense if they're going to cause Sporting KC any trouble at all.
That'll go off the head of Adronda. So once again, an early throw in for Minnesota.
You'd also like to see a little bit better service up with the front guys, whether it's Ramirez or Pino. Just give them something that they control, or at least get to try and do something with it.
Neither team making a substitution to start the second half. Coleman quickly under pressure from Dwyer. Brett Coleman. It's done quite well along the back line for Minnesota this season.
You can see the ball at the back, it's very static across the front, Chris. There's no movement whatsoever, making it very easy for the Sporting KC defenders to pick people up. You need to have people come short and then people go long and drag the defenders around to open up spaces, but the way they're doing it right now, it's very easy for Sporting KC at the moment.
Abdul Salam, header back to Can.
That's something we saw through that tough three-game stretch for United earlier this year. A ton of possession in their own end along the back four, and then a lot of those home run balls, as we talked about in the first half, and just not able to move it through into their attacking third with possession. That's been a difficult area for United.
Yeah, you just talked about it, Eric. They need people to make runs. Christian needs to come short for the ball. If he comes short, then someone run into his space. But if they don't do that, it makes it very easy for the back four just to stand still, and they don't have to mark him. They just let him be there.
Coleman defensively. Davis knocks it away. Controlled by Ibsen. Dispossessed by Beilhaber. Peterson with the cross. Low with the strong header. Abdul Salam to it. He's called for the foul. Abdul Salam catching the heels of Pino on that.
Just enough to bring him down to gain advantage, which the referee picked up very nicely.
Just underway in the second half of the U.S. Open Cup fourth round meeting between Minnesota United and Sporting Kansas City. I'm Chris Lidome, joined by U.S. Soccer Hall of Famer Alan Willie and Eric Nordquist, who is field side.
Yeah, Eric, he mentioned it early in the game. Sporting KC like to get the fullbacks for just like Minnesota do, so it's like almost a mirror image of both teams at the moment, so they know what's coming on.
Cruz is going to be called for the foul as Madronda is slow to his feet.
Danny Cruz was coming inside there, try to change direction. Just caught him as he tried to win the ball back. Great cut and a play back, just a little bit in front of him. Against MLS teams, you have a little less time to hold onto the ball because you know they're going to get closed down quickly.
Alec Can getting the start tonight. There's just one start in the regular season for Sporting KC. Lowe will play it long.
They got part of it right there, Chris. Sammy did roll it out to Damian Lowe, but then in turn he goes and kicks it long into an area where no one is.
Madronda outside of the foot. Lowe to it ahead of Veilhaber. Or rather Espinoza, excuse me. The referee is going to back up Kevin Venegas to where he wants the ball thrown in from.
It was only 20 yards, Chris. Then he gets 5 of it back.
Opara outright. Abdul Salam picks his head up. Keep it on the deck. Mustavar. Veilhaber. Good first touch into space. Around Ibsen. Hallisey working against Venegas on the left side. In Jock. Goes up big to pick it out of the air.
A good take by Sammy there off the deflection. Did well. Venegas just gets enough on it to slow it down, gets it up in the air, gives Sammy a chance to get up there and recover it. Does really well.
Cruz, Ibsen. Good turn by Ibsen. He's taken down by Opara. And Ike Opara shown the yellow card from the referee.
That's a great turn by Ibsen there. If he hadn't gotten brought down, he had Ramirez wide open to his right, clearing on goal. So the foul had to be committed here. Good touch by Ibsen. Spins on the ball and gets pulled down from behind. You can see Ramirez at the top of the screen there, would have been wide open to be played through.
Opara goes into the book in the 51st minute.
We talked about how slick the turf is. This would be a nice time to whip this ball around the wall maybe and just skip it in front of the goalkeeper, because you know how hard it is to take for the goalkeeper when the ball's a little slick and it skips off the turf.
Just one bounce off the turf might be all it takes.
That's all it's going to take, but you need people running in for the rebounds, Eric, too.
Venegas behind the ball for Minnesota. We're in the 52nd minute. This is within range of Venegas. The skip, whoa! The flag is up from the assistant referee.
It was the right idea there. Nice little play there. Damian Lowe almost got on the end of it. Actually got on the end of it, but it was just slightly offside.
You have to like the thought process of Kevin Venegas. A lot of people were probably set for him to have one on frame. Instead, he decided to play it over the top for Lowe to run onto.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting a shot from there.
Up strongly goes Abdul Salam. Dwyer on the turn. But he's called for the foul. Lowe pushing the back from Espinoza. And Jock to Espinoza. And here's the start of it.
It's another one of those tackles by Damien Lowe where he clears the ball and follows through and catches his Dwyer right in the chest. Very similar to how he got sent off earlier in the season. But the referee has to make a decision here. He went to the assistant linesman to see what he saw.
Have to think that there will be a card to Damien Lowe for this. What color is it? Who knows?
But once again, Chris, it's very similar to early in the season where he went through, he won the ball, and his studs carried through onto the player. And the exact same thing happened here too, where he won the ball. His foot come through and caught Dwyer in the chest.
Referee Nemasek Haffey calling over Sammy and Jock for Minnesota and Roger Espinoza for Sporting KC.
We took to the 54th minute, Chris, and officially right now the teams don't like each other. The good sign is the referee's talking to them both right now.
It's going to make for a very interesting half hour plus here at the National Sports Center.
Because after the tackle that Damien Lowe did do, someone came and pushed him in the back, and then Sammy and Jacques came out and pushed someone else down.
So yellow cards after the lengthy discussion from the referee. Yellow card shown to Sammy and Jacques and Roger Espinoza.
Which is the best case scenario for Minnesota right there, Chris. It could have been a lot worse. See, Dwyer gets the ball, but you can see Lowe just coming to clear the ball, but he does follow through. And that seems to be his normal position. It's to follow through in the ball, and he gets hit from behind, then Sammy Jacques comes and pushes. I think it's Feilhaber also.
It's cliched, but it's usually not the initial instigators that are getting cards when you have an entire scrum like that on the field. We saw Sammy and Jacques make the shove in defense of his teammate, of course. I'm not surprised he got booked. Damien Lowe is lucky probably that he's still on the field.
Yeah, exactly, because it was very similar to where he got sent off earlier in the season with the follow-through. But that just seems to be how he plays the ball. It's not something, you know, that you see every now and again. He seems to do it quite a bit, so it's normal for him. He just seems to catch people as they come through. But like Eric said, the people that were involved, there's no cards in it. You know, Sammy that gets a yellow card, which is best case scenario for Minnesota right now.
55th minute, yellow cards to Sammy and Jacques of Minnesota, Roger Espinoza of Sporting, Ibsen. And then a yellow card eventually shown to Damien Lowe as well of Minnesota. Dwyer working against Coleman. Coleman standing strong. Vicencini coming to help. And a yellow card shown to Giuliano Vicencini now.
The crowd here at NSC Stadium hates it, but really that's the best way for the referee at this point to keep things under control. We saw nobody being sent off in the previous physical altercation. You may see a number of additional cards before this game is through.
Just before this action, Eric, I was just going to say the referee's had a great game tonight because we haven't seen him much. He hasn't called every petty little foul. He's let play go on. He did a great job in that situation for Minnesota. I'm sure KC wasn't too happy with him. But once again, Vicencini comes in from behind, which is going to be a yellow card 9 times out of 10. But Minnesota has to just keep their cool a little bit.
Olam, Abdul Salam. Closing him down was Pino. Opara for Sporting. Mustavar, Peterson. Back to Mustavar. Abdul Salam, Peterson into the penalty area. He goes down, waved off by the referee. Coleman trying to get it out, does so. Opara. Strong in the ball is Ike Opara. Too far for Peterson.
Once again, another good non-call by the referee there. Looking for a penalty kick as he goes into the box here. Vincicini didn't really touch him, but the referee's right in front of him, waving his finger.
Foul against Sporting. Ben Spies at midfield preparing to enter this game for Minnesota United. Getting close to an hour in. Hallisey with the step. Connor Hallisey with the cross.
That's a great cross there, Chris, but it was a handball by Dwyer. I don't think the referee or the linesman didn't touch it. You see it comes across Dwyer, looked like he signed it.
Dronda. Abdul Salam. Opara, his 4th year with Sporting. Wake Forest product. Veilhaber, good through ball. Hallisey, left peg, denied by Lowe. Cruz, little touch around Espinoza. Venegas, poked away. Offside against Minnesota.
Minnesota needs to play the ball a little quicker. They're waiting for the Kansas City players to come and close them down, but you'd like to see them play it early and not give them a chance to intercept the ball like they did there.
Good switch to Hallisey from Opara. Espinoza, Veilhaber, space in front of him from distance. Well up and over into the food trucks. Now a substitution for Minnesota United, Ben Spies, to enter this evening's contest in place of Ibsen.
We talked about this late in the first half, Chris. This game was crying out for Ben Spies. He could be the game changer here. He's the type of player that will get up there with Christian Ramirez, play 1-2s, come short for him, or get behind him, which is going to make the defense move around. It's going to open up space for people to run into.
Ibsen doesn't even come to the bench. He just heads to the locker room.
Ibsen probably not happy only with his game tonight, but he certainly wanted to stay in and have an opportunity to be a part of something offensively and in the attacking area for United.
Good step by Lowe. Unfortunately for Minnesota, Ramirez was in an offside position when that ball was played. '62nd minute of play. The National Sports Center. Minnesota and Sporting sit 0-0. Good step by Pino. Can't quite control it. Mustavar gets it back for Sporting KC. Espinoza looks around him as the ball is en route to his feet. Tries to play it into Veilhaber. Ball skips past Venegas. Hallisey now for Sporting. Battle of the 22s. Brovsky with the clearance, and it will result in a corner kick for Sporting.
Good recovery by Brovsky there to get across and intercept that ball. Venegas looks like he took his eye off the ball and it bounced over him. Sporting KC with a great chance there.
Veilhaber on the corner for Sporting. In-swinger, Triven. Headed out by Vicencini. Venegas. Madronda with the step. Madronda with the turn. Madronda still with possession. Dwyer. That hit Coleman in a penalty kick for Sporting.
That's very unlucky on Brent Coleman. He's threw his body at the ball. Great turn by Dwyer. Turns and Brent Coleman dives at the ball and catches him on the arm as he slides down there. Very unlucky. Great ball back, great turn, good touch by Dwyer there. Takes a shot with his left foot. Coleman stretching, trying to reach out along the ground. Catches his arm as it goes past. Referee's got to make that call.
An important moment coming up. Benny Feilhaber to take the penalty kick for Sporting. The ball is set. The whistle from the ref. Injak is set. Feilhaber slots it into the lower corner and puts Sporting up 1-0.
An unlucky break for Minnesota there, but the right call by the referee. Feilhaber steps up and calmly puts it in the bottom of the net to give Sporting Kansas City the 1-0 lead in the 65th minute. Beautiful taken penalty kick there. Really didn't give Sammy no chance. If Minnesota are going to win the game, they've got to score a couple of goals now at least.
Scoring for Sporting KC in the 65th minute from the spot. Number 10, Benny Feilhaber. Feilhaber on the penalty for Sporting KC gives them a 1-0 lead.
I think on the balance of play, Chris, Sporting Kansas City has deserved the lead at the moment. 1-0 just has to come with the penalty kick, which is unlucky for Minnesota because Coleman was diving for the ball, caught him on the arm. Some referees give that, some people don't. Tonight he gave it. Minnesota paid the price.
Venegas on the set piece for Minnesota. Down by 1. Espinoza heads it away. Right back to Venegas of Minnesota. Davis tracks back. Ramirez with the touch. The wind starting to pick up here at the National Sports Center. You can see it in the flags in the background. Vicencini at midfield. Venegas slicing inside. Venegas, good ball out to Cruz. He'll play it in. Lofting ball from Danny Cruz. Bounces once. Davis heads it down. Pino back to Davis. Justin Davis. Peterson with the clearance. Vicencini with skill.
The wind not blowing in United's favor right now. As you saw on Kevin Venegas' free kick earlier, he tried to drive it and it dipped. And then on that last cross, kind of held it up and lofted. It's very breezy down here.
Yeah, the ball was hanging up in the air, but it did help Minnesota a little bit because it wasn't the greatest cross. Allowed Justin Davis to get onto it and try and play in Pino. Justin might have needed to play that one first time rather than have an extra touch inside the box. He's coming in from behind, getting the elbow on his back. Easy call for the referee.
Alec Can, who hasn't been too terribly busy this evening. Peterson Fans on the shot. Opara heads it down. Madronda uses his speed. And then a yellow card shown to Cruz. Cruz goes in the book in the 68th minute.
Just coming in there late. I'm not sure if he actually caught him. It was maybe the intent. He slides in.
Espinoza. Too high for Hallisey. That yellow card to Danny Cruz is the 4th of the night for Minnesota United compared to 2 for Sporting. Pino. Working hard to get around Abdul Salam. Gets a whistle from the referee. Saad Abdul Salam shown the yellow card now from referee Nima Saghafi.
Strong turn by Pino there. Shielded the ball well. Starting to get away from him. Gets pulled back. Referee's had enough. I think he's had too many persistent fouls. Gets him a yellow card.
Bees will keep it on the ground. Vicentini, he'll chip it in. Brovsky, Coleman, off of Opara, or rather off of Olam. We're into the 70th minute. Minnesota United held scoreless, but that wasn't the case during the spring season of the NASL. They're the highest scoring club with 16 goals.
Just in the last couple of minutes, Chris is starting to get forward a little bit. Some great balls into the box here. And lucky on that last chance, Coleman was trying to find Ramirez at the far post. He's got intercepted before it got to Christian.
Davis on the throw-in. Madronda. Going forward. Jimmy Madronda. Out to Hallisey. Connor Hallisey back in. Espinoza. Feilhaber. Keeps it going right. Peterson. He'll knock it all the way back to Opara. Espinoza directing traffic. Opara up the line, too far for Abdul Salam. A run long and a goal kick upcoming for Minnesota.
Now they're having the problems playing the balls forward, the ball's skipping out of play because the wind and the turf is skipping through there. But they don't have to get forward because they were just very content there by playing the ball around from side to side. Minnesota needs to come out and get that ball from them.
Vicentini. Venegas. Davis, first touch forward. Bump from behind by Peterson. No whistle from the referee. Now there's one. As Spies is called for the foul.
Look for me, Chris, he got the ball there as he slid in, but Justin Davis was looking for the foul. He didn't get it. And in turn, he gets a yellow card for it. You see, he gets shouldered from behind. Gets his leg stepped on. Maybe Spies didn't get the ball. But Justin Davis ends up getting a yellow card for that.
Ben Spies shown the yellow card in the 73rd minute. The 5th yellow card of the night for Minnesota. 3 yellow cards for Sporting KC to this point. Feilhaber trying to work through traffic. Cleared away by Davis. Espinoza. Peterson. Goes off of Davis. Corner kick for Sporting KC.
Yeah, with so many Minnesota players having yellow cards because the last couple of minutes you saw Vincent Cini pull out of a tackle and Danny Cruz pull out of a tackle because they can't afford to get another yellow card. Already on one.
Sporting KC leading 1-0 in the 74th minute thanks to a 65th minute penalty kick by Benny Feilhaber. This is Feilhaber at the corner flag. Foul in the penalty area against Sporting KC. Carl Craig, Ian Fuller directing their players as exactly how they want to start the attack. Ball falls to Espinoza of Sporting though. Madronda, heavy first touch. Played away by Venegas. Spies to it first. Now Brovsky going forward. Finds Cruz open in the corner. Olam over to defend. Cruz goes down. Whistle from the referee. And a yellow card displayed to Lawrence Olam.
Great ball by Brovsky, feeding it out to Danny Cruz on the run. Great cut back again here. Got to foul him, otherwise he's clearing under the box by himself. A great ball by Brovsky in there, opening up Danny Cruz on the right side. Gives Minnesota a chance from the free kick here. They've been really good on set pieces so far this season. You think a game like tonight, if they're going to score, it's probably going to come from a set piece.
Olam goes into the book in the 75th minute.
This is an opportunity for Damian Lowe to use his size, use his height, and hopefully get on the receiving end of Venegas' ball here.
Kevin Venegas on the set piece for Minnesota United. They trail by 1 in the 76th minute, looking to get the equalizer on this free kick. Venegas driven. Last touch by Minnesota.
It was the right idea by Brovsky. They just got a little bit too much on it. Decent ball in by Venegas, just a little bit too much on it. Just need that little deflection. Great run, just a little bit too much. Gets a deflection there. You got 3 or 4 Minnesota coming at the far post.
Brovsky trying to get that little flick on.
Sometimes you don't even need the flick, because sometimes if you miss it accidentally, it's almost as good as a flick.
Up strongly goes Davis, winning that 50-50 ball. Espinoza behind Feilhaber. Athletic ability of Justin Davis on display with that one. Vicencini looking for help. Good switch, good driven ball. Nicely taken down by Davis. That goes off of Peterson. Patented sliding tackle by Davis. He'll drive it in, headed away. Throw in upcoming for Minnesota.
Yeah, much better by Minnesota. Switching play, dragging forward the defenders around. Just like to see Justin maybe get that ball past the first defender.
Substitution for Minnesota United. Giuliano Vicencini will make way for J.C. Banks. good 78 minutes from Vicentini tonight.
Yeah, I think maybe him having been on a yellow card also might have something to do with it too. He's had a great game tonight. Great ball just there over to Justin Davis, but this is patented slide and tackle, gets him in the offensive opportunity here.
Banks, his first event of the night, headed away by Olam. Davis right back in for Minnesota. Can punches it away. Go off the corner flag. It'll be a throw-in, though, for Minnesota.
Yeah, some good pressure for Minnesota right now. Hoping that it could pay off with a goal.
On the counter goes Sporting. Dwyer, 1v1 with Lowe. Back is Brovsky now. Dwyer struggles to maintain possession.
Yeah, great play by Damian Lowe, holding him up there.
Pino. Abdul Salam quickly closes him down. Momentum starting to go in favor of Minnesota United as we enter the 80th minute.
Yeah, they have to take chances and push forward now. You can see the difference in the game right now. They're starting to take chances, playing balls through, switch and play.
Low on the ground to Banks. Banks with a cross. Opara. Minnesota players wanting a handball. Cruz takes it down. Danny Cruz flicks it out to Venegas. Back to Cruz, who's onside. Danny Cruz, he goes down the box. Penalty kick now for Minnesota.
Yeah, Venegas is looking for a yellow card also because he did bring him down in the box. The penalty kick to Minnesota. Some great play, some great movement, some great runs. Moving defenders all over the place, opening space. Great run by Danny Cruz, gets a one touch into the box here. Then he got a little bit lucky there. It looked like it could have been just short of the line there, but the referee give it inside. Much better the last 5 minutes for Minnesota.
Jimmy Madronda, the one called for the foul. Referee having a quick word with his second AR, John Krill. Christian Ramirez set to take the penalty kick from Minnesota United. Looking for the equalizer as we are into the 81st minute. The whistle. Ramirez. Approach. 1-1! Christian Ramirez confidently slots it away in the lower corner and equalizes this game.
Khan went the right way, but he wasn't going to stop Ramirez from tying this game up. But this goal led to the great play of Minnesota the last 5 or 6 minutes, playing balls through behind the defense. Some great runs by Danny Cruz. Gets the penalty kick, and Christian Ramirez ties this game up at 1-1.
Scoring in the 82nd minute for Minnesota United from the penalty spot, number 21, Christian Ramirez. That's Ramirez from the spot for Minnesota. Makes it a 1-1 game. Just under 10 minutes to go.
You can see the difference since Ben Spies has come on with the movement that he's creating. It's causing people to move around. Defenders have to move, opens up spaces. Minnesota taking advantage of those spaces, exactly what Danny Cruz did on the right side to win the penalty kick there.
And we sound like a broken record on a weekly basis, but the hard work that Danny Cruz puts in, starting with Damian Lowe, who goes from erratic to brilliant with that pass that set the run in motion, and then Cruz on the right side, he's been working his tail off all evening.
Yeah, it very rarely shows up on the stat sheet, but when the 90 minutes or plus have done, Eric, he's probably one of the hardest working players on the field.
Through for Cruz. Olam there for Sporting KC. Call a foul against Cruz.
It looked like a throw-in to me. Linesman got it wrong there. But once again, there's the hustle of Danny Cruz. We just talked about it. The stuff what he did tonight so far won't show up on the stat sheet. All the work rates he done. He wins the penalty kick. But it's all because of his work rate tonight.
Abdul Salam just a step ahead of Pino. End result will be a throw in. Pino. Double team in the corner. Hard challenge by Abdul Salam. Referee points in the direction of Sporting.
Great work by Pino holding up the ball here. Shoulder to shoulder. Good call by the referee. A good non-call. Throw in.
Brovsky. Espinosa now for Sporting KC. Hallisey wide open on the left. Connor Hallisey played in with the left foot, looking for Dwyer, who gets ahead on it and just sails high. Referee, though, calling a foul against Dwyer, pushing the back on Brent Coleman.
Yeah, rightly so. Just before the ball got there, he pushed Coleman in the back, it looked like, to get free, to get the free header. Little nudge in the back, climbs above Coleman. But a great ball in by Sporting KC.
Yeah, it looked a little odd when 5'9" went over 6'2" too easily. Up strongly, Opara. Mustavar on the turn. Feilhaber, ball at his feet, trying to play the through ball, disrupted by Coleman. Davis now for United. Makes a late bump from Dwyer, but it'll be a throw in for Sporting KC. 86th minute, 1-1. We do need a winner tonight. It finishes 1-1. We'll go to 2 15-minute periods with no golden goal. It's tied after the 2 15s. We'll head to penalty kicks, which would be very fitting since that's why we went in to overtime into penalty kicks, is because of 2 penalty kicks. One for Sporting Kansas City in the 65th minute, converted by Benny Feilhaber, and then Christian Ramirez for Minnesota United from the penalty spot in the 82nd minute.
You just hope that it does get ended by a goal rather than go to the penalty kicks. It's just to me, it's not the right way to finish a game. It's great when you win them, but when you're on the losing side, it's tough.
We know all too well in 2014 the way that in the hunt for the soccer bowl here at NSC Stadium, Minnesota losing in penalty kicks. And it's one of those things, as level as this game has been, you definitely don't want to offer it up via the arbitrary effort on a penalty.
Exactly. You know, 4 minutes left plus injury time now, right? Minnesota's pushing forward. They should go ahead and try and win this game. They're starting to find some openings in the KC defense here.
Corner kick from Minnesota. 87th, just about the 88th minute. Spees on the corner. Off the head of Coleman, over the bar.
Lucky by Brent Coleman there, guts his head to it, but he just couldn't get it down enough.
Flick on by Peterson. Just too far for an outstretched Dom Dwyer.
And lucky by Sporting KC there, flicked on. Just need a little bit longer leg there from Dwyer to bring that under control.
Pretty quiet match so far for number 14 of Sporting Kansas City, but you can see over the last 10-15 minutes he's been much more involved.
Good sliding tackle by Brovsky. Cruz. Last touch by Minnesota, quickly put back in play. Hallisey with the cross. Skips past Feilhaber. Abdul Salam. Mustavar. Opara. Miss hit by Espinoza. Opportunity for Minnesota. Cruz quickly forward. Ramirez. Christian Ramirez. Banks. Pino! Golden opportunity for Minnesota to take the lead late.
He's not going to get a better chance than that. Just great ball movement by Minnesota from Ramirez to Banks to Pino. Try to hit it with the outside of his left foot. I'd love to hear a great play in here by Cruz to Ramirez. Holds it up well. Lays it to JC Banks. Great ball. You just like to see him put his laces through this. Christian's going in there, so if it gets deflected, it might come out of him. He's got to hit the target or at least make the goalkeeper save in that situation.
Flick on by Dwyer. Rolls all the way back to Njok. And on that last opportunity for Minnesota, JC Banks received the pass, waited a half beat, and then played it instead of playing it that very first time. Waiting that half beat allowed Pino to get forward and create that chance.
Yeah, if he played it first time, it might have been a little too late. We just held on to it. Just that split second to put it on. We really should have hit that first time with these laces.
Whistle from the referee. Foul by Brovsky. Brovsky just coming in a touch late on Mustavar.
And from behind also.
There will be 5 minutes of stoppage time added to this second half of play. One-man wall, Ben Spies for Minnesota. Benny Feilhaber behind the ball for Sporting. Game level at 1. Now into stoppage time. Feilhaber, his service in. Headed away by Venegas. Lowe puts his head on it. Hallisey, let it run out of play. So if we get through this stoppage time without a goal, we'll play 2 15-minute halves. No golden goal. Tied after the 2 15s. We'll go to penalty kicks. Adronda called for the foul on Brovsky.
I'd like to see Minnesota maybe sneak this one in the last 4 minutes here, Chris. They had a great chance by Pino. They're probably not going to get a better chance than that to finish it.
Jock puts the ball back into play. Or so I thought. Wynn catching that and putting that into the stands. Cruz turns. Taken away by Espinoza. Cruz called for the foul. Quick restart. Feilhaber. Through for Abdul Salam. Sliding tackle by Davis. We've seen that all season, all career long from Justin Davis. Pino. Davis hustling forward to be a part of it. Is Davis. Espinoza tracks back. Back comes Sporting KC. Peterson. Hurried ball through. Dwyer was in an offside position. Couldn't quite get to Peterson.
A quick counterattack by Minnesota there. Justin Davis just needed a little bit better ball led to the far post. Ramirez was wide open, waiting for it to come across. Slightly behind the players and intercepted by Sporting KC on the edge of the box.
Venegas slicing into the middle. Kevin Venegas laying over the top, looking for Pino. Can comes off his line to make the save. Mustavar into the feet of Failhaber. Brovsky, Venegas, now Cruz. Into Banks. Ben Spees now for Minnesota. Trying to get around Espinoza. Lays it off for Davis. Back into Spees. Closed down by Opara. Pino with control. Coleman pushing forward. Will lay it off for Davis once again.
See, Chris, Minnesota are a much better team when Ben Spees is in the lineup. He'll get the ball, he'll come short, pick it up, and run at people. That's something that they don't have on a regular basis when he was out.
Ramirez with the touch. Cruz. Spees. Pino. Pino to his right.
It's the right idea. It was worth an effort. Justin Davis made a 30-yard run on the outside. He decided to take the shot himself over the crossbar.
Abdul Salam. Fronting him is Davis. Espinoza. Too far for Peterson. Goal kick upcoming for Minnesota.
Did a great run by Justin Davis, but Pino decides to come inside and hit it with his right foot. You can't complain, and anyone taking a shot just needs to be a little bit better. Like you say it and say all the time is you got to hit the target or at least make the goalkeeper work.
There's the whistle from the referee, and a penalty kick for each team will send us to overtime as Minnesota and Sporting KC finish regulation 1-1.
KC pretty much owned the first hour of this game, but once Ben Spees came to the lineup, Minnesota were a different team, and they started coming on. They were able to tie the game, and they were a much better team in the last 10 or 15 minutes. So hopefully we'll continue that as they start this extra time period coming up. But they are starting to get chances. They're getting moving, they're getting runs. And once Minnesota does that, they'll create chances.
9 yellow cards total through 90 minutes. What kind of an effect does that have on the play now of these players who are sitting with yellows as we go into overtime?
Well, we saw it after about the 60-65 minute mark. Vincent Cini had a chance to go into a tackle, he pulled out. Danny Cruz had a chance to go into a tackle, he pulled out also because they're on yellow cards, so you have to be very careful. The referee's going to try his best to keep the 11 men on the field, but at some point if someone makes a reckless challenge, he has to make a call.
Players getting hydrated. Stretching out, getting ready for another 30 minutes of soccer. Again, we'll play 2:15s, no golden goal. Tied after the 2:15s. We'll head to penalty kicks to determine the winner of this 4th round matchup from the National Sports Center.
Yeah, Minnesota doesn't have a game this week, so they can just let it all hang out here. KC does have a game coming up, but I'm not sure they're thinking about that right now. But Minnesota can just go all out and try and win this game in extra time. Over the last 15-20 minutes have showed they can do that. They've had some great chances. Just a matter of who can keep their head in front of goal and get that shot on target. Who's going to be the hero tonight, Chris?
Here, look at Brad Davis, number 11 for Sporting Kansas City. He'll be getting ready to enter this game. That will be the first substitution of the night for Sporting KC. Minnesota has used 2. Spees replacing Ibsen, Banks in for Vicentini.
Both of those substitutions paid off. Banks had a great chance there, did the ball through. Spees has just been excellent since he came on. Minnesota have no one like him, where he can run behind Ramirez. We talk about all the time, the moves that he makes, the runs. He can run at people, he can go past Ramirez. And you start pulling the defenders around, which opens up space for other people to run into. Before that, Minnesota were pretty static the first hour of the game.
Final words from both managers. Carl Craig from Minnesota, Peter Vermees for Sporting Kansas City.
You know, it's not a really hot night, not very humid, especially after Saturday night's game, Chris. So it's just a good night, and the fitness that these guys have got in another 30 minutes is not going to harm them.
I think Carl Craig really has to be happy with that final 20-minute stretch for Minnesota United, getting the opportunity, of course, to tie it up. But the level of pressure and play, especially from the 80th minute on, Carl Craig has to be at least somewhat as positive as you can be as this team enters extra time.
Both penalty kicks. One for Sporting Kansas City. Benny Feilhaber converting his in the 65th minute. And then Christian Ramirez at the other end for Minnesota United. That coming in the 82nd minute. And that gives us our current score of 1-1 as we get ready to head into the first of 2 15-minute periods.
I think getting back to Eric's point there, that coach Carl Craig should be happy. I think so, because once he made those subs after the 60th minute, Minnesota have been a much different team. They've been the better team over the last part of this game, and they have to continue this into overtime or extra time if they're going to win this game. But the last 15-20 minutes, they've showed that they can win this game. They're playing with the MLS team. You know, you're looking the better team easily the last 10 minutes of the game. KC really didn't have any chances compared to Minnesota, 3 or 4 really good chances.
Brad Davis has now entered the game for Sporting Kansas City. He replaces Jacob Peterson. Davis in his first year with SKC, after spending the 10 previous years with Houston. So Sporting Kansas City still has 2 substitutions to use. Minnesota has 1. Dronda. Right to Coleman in Minnesota. Pino.
It was a good shift for Peterson out there, but I'm interested to see how the wily vet, Brad Davis, over there, he's going to cause havoc for Justin Davis on the left side in this extra period here.
He's going to try to, but Justin Davis is just an experienced player. Very little gets past him. He wins so many tackles with that patented sliding tackle of his, and it's going to be hard for anyone to get past him.
Flick on by Cruz. Over the head of Olam. Ramirez. Behind Cruz. Cruz comes up with it. Madronda driven into Dwyer. Low with the clearance. Madronda puts his head on it. Now Banks. Step there by Olam. Dwyer takes it out of the air. Hallisey. Connor Hallisey into the penalty area. Brovsky able to get it away. Venegas, a lot of space in front of him. Over the top, looking for Ramirez. Minnesota not wasting any time. They're coming at SKC.
There's a great opportunity there. Just half a yard away from Ramirez, bringing that ball into control. Goalkeeper really should have come out all the way to clear that, but getting back to an earlier chance that Ramirez had. He's in the box all by himself. He needs to take one step to the side and crack that on goal. Try to pass it off, try to be too delicate. It's nice when you score nice goals and pretty goals, but every goal counts, and that shot gets deflected and goes in the bottom corner. It's still going to count.
Espinoza. Madronda. Once again, Madronda. His shot goes wide. Jimmy Madronda in his 4th year with SKC.
He's not afraid to have a shot from there, 20 yards out. Never know what might happen, especially in overtime.
Davis. Now Failhaber to Brad Davis of Sporting. Defended well there by Coleman. He goes around Failhaber. Banks. Skips away from Brovsky. Brad Davis. Good defensive play by Justin Davis from Minnesota on that, shutting down Brad Davis.
Yeah, great recovery there because he was ready to pull the trigger there. Justin came in late and one of the slide tackles again wins that ball.
Failhaber keeps it. Lowe knocks that down. Coleman will play it away. That'll roll all the way back to Olam. Opara. Opara once again for Sporting KC. Abdul Salam into the feet of Davis. Support ball to Olam. Espinoza now. Pass intercepted by Spees. Quickly forward, Ramirez. Defended well there by Olam. Madranda. Quickly forward for Sporting. Sliding tackle from Venegas results in a throw in for Sporting Kansas City.
It seems to be the teams that are kicking into the wind is having the better possession and the better chances. Great sliding tackle by Venegas there to win the ball, give away the throw in, but it's a good tackle.
Mustavar through. Dwyer onside. Denied by Lowe. Now Venegas for Minnesota. Off of Madronda.
Something we didn't see throughout the first 90 minutes, guys. Kansas City really pushing down the middle. They're not pushing it out wide and getting crosses, and we've seen them attacking Damian Lowe and Brent Coleman so far here in extra time.
Yeah, I was just wondering if it's because they're going into the wind or it's easy to keep possession. When you're going the other way, they didn't have very much possession. Minnesota didn't have much in the first half when they went with the wind. We'll see if it turns around in the second half, if Minnesota picks up the possession in the second half of this extra time.
Failhaber. Intercepted by Coleman. And Jock one times it away. Opara calmly heads it backwards to Cam. Opara speedily up the right side. Little scoop over. Abdul Salam. Davis defending. And it'll be a goal kick for Minnesota.
Yeah, good non-call by the referee again. The ball gets played over the top. This kind of ball going the other way runs out of play and they can't get to it. Into the wind, it's holding up, so it's easy to keep possession, and that's maybe why Sporting KC has a little bit of an edge right now going into the wind.
Ball will go out of play. Belong to Minnesota. Saad Abdul Salam down for Sporting KC. Cramping up a bit, just getting stretched out.
Not surprisingly, after all the runs he's made up and down that flank tonight, Chris. He's worked really hard.
He's been very active for the team in white tonight.
Minnesota wouldn't be too sad if he had to go off, because he's really been a danger down that right-hand side tonight.
"1-1 is our score. Penalty kick for each team has put us to where we are right now. Benny Feilhaber putting his penalty kick away in the 65th minute. And then Christian Ramirez with the answer from the spot, that coming in the 82nd minute.
He's off the field over there, Chris, so the referee should start the game. Unless they're going to substitute him out right now.
Sure enough, they do. Into the game now for Sporting Kansas City is number 7, Chance Myers. He'll be replacing number 17, Saad Abdul Salam. So Myers in for Abdul Salam for Sporting Kansas City. That's the second substitution of the night for Sporting KC. Minnesota has used 2 of their 3 substitutions as well.
Chance Myers certainly no slouch, but Abdul Salam leaving the match, as much as he's done offensively for Sporting Kansas City this year, as Alan alluded to shortly ago, big loss for the visitors.
Spies skips too far for Cruz. Madronda finding the feet of Espinoza, gets the return pass. Jimmy Madronda. Feilhaber, first touch, too far for Dwyer. And Jock picks it up. Olem. Danny Cruz is down for Minnesota United.
I think he's just looking for a breather here, because he just ran 60 yards to track back that ball after running forward 40 yards. So I think he's just looking for a breather right now. And I just don't know where he gets the energy from. Almost 100 minutes played and he's still sprinting up and down the field.
9 yellow cards issued in this game. Opara, Espinoza, Abdul Salam, and Olem with yellow cards for Sporting Kansas City. In Jock, Lowe, Vicencini, Cruz, Spies with the yellow cards for Minnesota United.
Is any justice in this game? Danny Cruz will get the winning tonight after he's worked so hard up and down the field.
Mustavar. Myers, first touch of the night, into Davis. Behind Myers. Brovsky, good ball out to Venegas. Minnesota working it around back of this 1-1 game. The 102nd minute. Brovsky with a little trouble, regains his composure. Madronda with the step. Brovsky, Cruz. Madronda leaves it off for Espinoza. Into the feet of Feilhaber. Benny Feilhaber getting a lot of attention. Espinoza to his right. Feilhaber once again. Back out left. Hallisey. Espinoza. Myers. Blocked. Feilhaber gets it back. Now Davis for Sporting KC. Mustavar. Myers working the sideline against Pino. Myers called for the foul.
Good play by Pino, even if it just stops the game right there. Minnesota were looking a little tired at times there. Pino shielding the ball well. Goes down very easily. It's more or less to to give the team a rest there because they're running around for the last minute or so. Smart play by Pino.
Chance Myers in his 9th year with Sporting KC. He's the first overall pick in the 2008 MLS Super Draft.
And Sammy's
a couple times in a row now that balls out of the back from Minjok have gone out of play.
He's usually one of the best at the deliveries from the goal kicks or from free kicks just around the box, but tonight it's been very poor. I'd like him to find someone up front there, at least give him a chance to hold on the ball, because they really need to hold on to it in the final third right now, because the ball's coming straight back every time.
Myers defended well by Pino. Spees trying to find an option. Does so in Cruz. Back to Spees. Nice little couple back heels. Banks! Ramirez! Shut down by Opara.
Great move by Minnesota. Very patient from the left side with Pino all the way across. Just beautiful one-touch soccer here. The layoff just skipped a little ahead of Christian Ramirez. Had to get to it late. Was able to get the block on the shot there. Just a great move by Minnesota here in extra time.
Brought the fans to their feet for that last effort.
Almost remind me of the Cosmos game when he scored late in the game. In a very similar position right there.
90th minute goal for Christian Ramirez in that game to help Minnesota United defeat the New York Cosmos for the first time ever. Espinoza. I guess fouled by Spees.
You see the difference it makes when Minnesota are able to hold on to possession. Spees is slightly coming in from behind. When Minnesota are able to hold possession up in the final third, they're creating chances. It's just a matter of can they hold it long enough.
Davis overlapping is Myers. And it's Justin Davis. Now Brad Davis tries to lay it back for Failhaber, but Coleman will clear it away. Ease the pressure from Minnesota as we're now about to enter the 106th minute. Davis offside.
It's all about keeping your mind sharp this time of the game. Your legs are starting to get tired. Got to keep your head in the game. These games here have to be won by Minnesota if they want to. They've shown that they can get the chances. Just a matter, can they finish? Christian Ramirez very unlucky the last couple of minutes. KC have probably edged this first half of extra time with their possession.
The first 15 minutes of overtime is in the books as Minnesota and Sporting KC sit 1-1.
15 minutes to go, Chris. Like I said, the legs are starting to feel it a little bit as who wants it the most. So Minnesota doesn't have a game, so they can leave it out, leave it all on the field. Your legs get tired, your brain stops thinking a little bit. Maybe the defenders might make a mistake and hope they can capitalize on it. Minnesota's going into the win now, so they should be able to hold possession a little better. We'll see when we start the second half of extra time here.
Look at Christian Ramirez.
But they did create one of the best chances in the first period there. Christian Ramirez very unlucky. Great move. Started down the left-hand side by Pino winning the ball. Switch it to the right. Some beautiful one-touch play. J.C. Banks with a chest down. Ramirez just couldn't quite get on the end of it.
Minnesota fans to their feet, applauding their home squad. Taking a look at the last great chance for Minnesota.
This beautiful movement. Great ball in again by Spees. Chested down by Banks. He had to say anything maybe a little too strong with the chest down, but still a great chance for Minnesota.
A lot of unselfish play on display in that opportunity.
And they played it first time, and they played it quickly. Do you see how they were able to move the ball around? It's when they get holding on to the ball and get caught in possession is when they have the problems arise.
Substitution for Sporting KC, their final one of the night. Diego Rubio in. He'll be replacing Dom Dwyer. So Rubio in for Dwyer to start this second half of overtime. 15 minutes to play in overtime. Score tied 1-1. It remains that score. After the 15 minutes, we will head to penalty kicks. Penalty kicks are the reason why we are at this point. Benny Feilhaber converting a penalty kick in the 65th minute for Sporting Kansas City. And then in the 82nd minute, Christian Ramirez doing the same for Minnesota United. Pino. Mustavar now for Sporting KC. Feilhaber. Myers can't keep it between the lines. Myers won that ball at his feet a little bit more than into space. Pino. Stefano Pino. That'll go off of Opara. It'll be a corner kick for Minnesota.
Pino's been very good in those situations tonight when the ball's being played down the line. The situations there, he shielded the ball well. He flicks the ball over the top here, tries to get onto it, uses speed. Defender gets a touch on it and clears it. Great work by Pino in the corner.
Spees at the corner flag for Minnesota. Curling in. Venegas. Taken down by Hallisey. Lowe recovers for Minnesota. Espinoza trying to shield off Banks. Roger Espinoza out to Davis. Myers pushing forward for Sporting KC. Espinoza to his left foot. Trying to get the shot off. Dummy by Rubio. Hallisey keeps it on the deck. Played away by Lowe. Madronda, well hit. Saved by Jacques. Rebound! No goal. Offside.
Minnesota got a lucky break there, but that's what we were talking about with Eric earlier on, is to get that ball just to skip in front of the goalkeeper. It's very difficult to hold on to when you get runners coming in. You can see two Sporting KC players offside right there. Kind of lazy, almost three players offside. They need to get back onside. But that's a difficult ball for the goalkeeper to take at the best of times.
And you could see on that save, Jacques slipped, something we've seen a lot of the other players do throughout the night. Coleman under pressure will play it back to Jacques. Brovsky for Banks. Mustavar comes up with it. Feilhaber turning upfield for Sporting KC. Trying to get around Coleman. Feilhaber. And Rubio puts it away and gives Sporting Kansas City a 2-1 lead.
Minnesota got lucky just a minute ago, but this time not so much. Great ball movement, great play. Rubio whips it in the far corner, giving Jacques no chance whatsoever. Sporting KC take the lead 2-1 here in the 110th minute. Great ball in the edge of the box, good first touch. Gets his laces through it into the side netting, giving Sammy Jacques no chance. Great goal by Sporting KC to take the lead 2-1.
Scoring for Sporting KC in the 109th minute. Number 9, Diego Rubio. The assist to number 10, Benny Feilhaber. Rubio from Feilhaber in the 109th minute makes it 2-1 in favor of Sporting KC.
That's just an awful call by the referee there. I don't know if he's give a free kick against him or he's just calling the play back. But Cruz stepped inside, rode the challenge, and he's calling a free kick. Cruz is on a yellow card, and I'm not sure why the referee would even call that back, because he stepped inside and jumped out of the way, and the defender ran into him.
Referee Nemeseg Haffey having a word with Danny Cruz. We mentioned Cruz is sitting on a yellow card. Received that back in the 68th minute.
The ball gets played down, and he steps into him. Oh, unless he's looking at the elbow. I think he caught him with the elbow as he came across him. At first glance, I didn't see that. I thought it was just his body was riding against him as he went across, but he did get the elbow up and catch him. Whether it was intentional, I don't think so. It's just a natural instinct to put your arm out there. His elbow might have caught him in the jaw. And after looking at that, it's a good non-call again by the referee. He's trying to keep as many players on the field as possible.
Ladronda was the injured player for Sporting KC. He's back to his feet, waiting to be beckoned back on, and re-enters. Off of Brovsky.
Here the fans are booing, but you didn't see the replay of the elbow coming up from Cruz. Accidental or not.
Espinoza now for Sporting KC. Well read by Coleman. Still time for Minnesota to equalize. Hallacy.
Strong play by Coleman there. Seeing the ball out, his speed getting in front. Rubio.
Mustavar up strongly. Feilhaber. Good touch there by Lowe. Venegas. Olam with the step. Feilhaber once again now. Feilhaber involved in both goals for Sporting KC tonight. Goal and an assist. Myers on the run. Coleman. Again, defending well. Brent Coleman's been solid in the back tonight for Minnesota.
Once again, because it was his speed that gets him into position. No one's going to run past him or run away from him. Just great position.
Into Davis. Last touch by Feilhaber.
In these last 5-6 minutes, Minnesota's got to take some chances, push players forward here, to leave them vulnerable at the back, but they have to take that chance.
Long throw in from Davis. Went off of Coleman last.
Sporting KC is in go slow mode right now. They've got the lead. No need to hurry. Try to waste as much time as possible. Referee having a word with the goalkeeper, telling him to move it along. Like most goalkeepers, you don't listen, Chris.
No, we don't. Just entering the 116th minute, the National Sports Center. Sporting Kansas City holding on to a 1-goal lead.
Just talked about it, Chris, and Damien Owes pushed up front.
Venegas. Madronda gets a piece of it. Feilhaber. Late whistle from the referee. There's a collision between Brovsky and Hallisey.
That late whistle helped Minnesota because it was going to be 4-on-2, 4-on-1 almost.
Davis heads it forward, touched away by Opara. Doesn't get as much on it as he wanted. Spees. Ramirez takes it down. Ball gets away from him. Espinoza. Rubio. Tripped up from behind by Coleman. Coleman shown the yellow.
There's a definite foul by Coleman coming in late there. He tries to go pick him up and they start slapping each other's hands, and Coleman walks away with a yellow card. These type of situations at this point, you just need to get on with it as quick as possible. Just don't get involved in the situations.
Coleman shown a yellow card in the 117th minute. Diego Rubio. Called for the dangerous play. Espinoza. Hallisey. Referee trying to settle things down here late.
Once again, Cruz is involved. Referee's doing his best, like I said, to keep everyone on the field here. You have to give him credit for that.
So we're into the 119th minute. Just a little time to go. Parra will just knock it long and take as much time off the clock as possible. Brent Coleman. Spees. Fouled by Feilhaber. Referee wants the ball set where the foul occurred. Ball originally was moving when Spees played it. That's why it was called back. Venegas. Myers heads it away. Davis. Goes off of Brad Davis.
Could be Minnesota's last opportunity here.
Long throw in from the captain of Minnesota. Off of Coleman. 2 minutes of stoppage time will be added. Myers. Good recovery by Cruz to win it back from Minnesota United. They're down by 1. Venegas going forward. And that trickles just wide. Corner kick for Minnesota, though.
Yeah, the goalkeeper was looking for a foul there, but he was just standing there waiting. Minnesota had every right to go and try and win that ball.
Fans to their
by
feet.
Venegas.
Corner kick, near post. That goes through, off a couple players. Cruz. Injak had pushed forward. Just about a minute or so to play. Taking a look at that last golden opportunity for Minnesota. Injak plays it in. Lowe heads it back. Ramirez goes down. Waved off by the referee. Then a whistle and a foul against Justin Davis. Davis goes into the book.
Yeah, Minnesota throwing everything into the box right now. Damian Lowe winning everything here. Ramirez looking for a penalty kick there. Davis comes in just a little too high. Doing everything they can to keep the ball in play inside the 18-yard box.
The 11th yellow card of the night between the two teams. We've hit the 2 minutes of stoppage time. Once the ball is put back in play, expect a whistle soon from the referee. And there it is. It's all over at the National Sports Center, and Sporting KC advances to the round of 16 with a 2-1 victory tonight over Minnesota United.
Yeah, disappointing for Minnesota. I think they worked hard enough to try and get a result tonight, but overall I think Sporting KC were just the better team overall. They got the goal when they needed a great goal, great work. They ended up winning 2-1, but Minnesota got to be proud of themselves. They worked very hard tonight against an MLS team. And they give them everything that they wanted. Just a disappointing end for Minnesota. But they need to look up because that was a great performance tonight, especially when Spies came into the lineup. They're a different team. They've got a couple of weeks off before the end of the fall season, so once they've got that to look forward to, 2 points out of first place.
It was a physical and entertaining 90 minutes between Minnesota and Sporting KC as Sporting comes away from the U.S. Open Cup fourth round meeting with a 2-1 victory thanks to goals by Benny Feilhaber and Diego Rubio. They now wait to see who their opponent will be on June 29th in the round of 16. Sporting KC will get back to league play this Sunday as FC Dallas visits CM Park. Minnesota United now prepares for an international friendly with Club Leon on June 25th. Final score, Sporting KC 2, Minnesota 1.